Good morning. Is it morning? Midday. I am going to do my makeup and go through how I became a content creator, which I have done for, we'll get through this in the video. I don't know how long it's been. It could be 9 years, 10 years, 11 years or 12 years. But yeah, I thought I would just go through my makeup as a get ready with me kind of thing. This is pretty much my everyday things, what products I use, and tell you about how I got into content creation. Hello? So let's start off with, I can't find the tripod attachment to this, so I have sellotaped this camera to a tripod, so it may fall at any point. Makeup bag is this Refi makeup bag, fits in everything, it's the perfect makeup bag. I also think it's quite dirty, but I'm pretty sure I've wiped it clean before. It's super easy when it gets covered in makeup. So first off, I'm going to start off with, this hasn't run out yet, but I did get a new one. The Hourglass Veil Primer. Oh, actually, I usually do this second, do my eyebrows first. Anyway, where shall I start off? I'm currently 31, and I'm pretty sure I started posting outfit pictures when I was 19. 19 just rings the bell in my head, so I'm pretty sure it must have been then. And I remember that I don't think people did it as a job at the time. I don't think. But it was when, back in the days, when Lookbook was around and people used to post their outfits on Lookbook. I don't think I ever had a Lookbook profile, but I loved other people on there. I cannot remember who I used to follow on there now. It's been so long. But yeah, and then people kind of started posting their pictures to Instagram. And I just really liked looking at it. I liked seeing how they put outfits together. At the time, I might get some of this stuff wrong. It's been so long. I was working at H&M at one point. I had it as a weekend job, and then after my A-levels, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I was like, I'm just going to take a year, and I'm going to work at H&M pretty much full time, while I figure out where I want to go. People were going to uni and whatnot, and I just didn't know if that was the route for me. So yeah, I worked at H&M for full time. I think it was full time, or I had a lot of overtime for a while. I'm going in with the By Terry Brightening CC foundation. Mine is in 5N. I really like this. I need to get, it's looking a little bit low. So I'm going to buy a new one. Don't you feel like you're constantly topping up makeup? Like everything runs out at different points. So yeah, I was working at H&M, and then the year of that came to an end and I still didn't know. So my parents were like, you need to go and get another qualification or something. So I was like, oh, I don't really know what to do. I don't know what I want to do. I still don't know what I even want to do in life. But I knew I liked fashion. I applied to do it was business management. Now, I don't know if it's a degree, a foundation degree, what it was, but it was through a university, but it wasn't at a university. It was at a college, and the qualification came from Nottingham Trent University. So yeah, I don't really know what that was, but basically I went into a college. Was it 5 days a week? We're testing my timescale here. I think it was a few days a week at least. Anyway, it may have been full time. And I also was still working at H&M on the side of that. I liked business management, but I wasn't it wasn't thrilling me. But I did actually find it interesting because I did it I think it was in sales and marketing or something like that. Oh, this is the Ilia. I will forget to tell you all of this. The Ilia Skin Rewind Complexion Stick, and I like it because I get a few little spots here and there. Sometimes it flares up really bad, and this really helps to just conceal that. I needed something else that I enjoyed, and I still loved fashion, so I just started to put together outfits that I would wear into college. They were always very comfy, quite minimal, and I used to just think I would love to do what those people do on Instagram and post their outfits just as a hobby, because as I said, I don't think people really did it as a job then, or at least as far as I was aware, it wasn't. Next I'm going in with what brand is this? Vive. I really like Vive. Vive Modern Radiance Concealer. I just got this recently and I really like it. So yeah, I started posting. So I started taking pictures of what I was wearing to college. I used to do it in the changing room because my college was in the city centre. And so I'd just go into shops on my little lecture breaks or whatever and take pictures of what I was wearing in the changing rooms. And yeah, started doing that and started to get really into it and really like putting stuff together. Really loved shopping, of course. So yeah, I just used to buy stuff in my breaks, then I'd go to work, then I'd go home, and pretty much was my life for 2 years. And then it got to the point where I was literally always taking pictures in my sister's bedroom. Now, my sister's bedroom at the time was a bit bigger than mine. It had way better light and it was very minimal, and mine was dark, and yeah, it just wasn't the right aesthetic for what I wanted at the time. It was very clean lines. Everyone used to shoot in front of plain walls, which I still actually love. But yeah, so that was the kind of vibe. And I used to move all her furniture around when she was out, take my pictures and move it all back so she wouldn't know I'd been in there and taken pictures and whatever, because nobody knew what I was doing. My parents, they just used to see me disappear into her room for an hour at a time, and after a while they were like, what are you doing? And I think I was maybe just quite embarrassed, and they were like, what? I don't even know what Instagram is, kind of thing. Oh, this is I will just forget to tell you everything. The Vive Modern Radiance Cream Bronzer, I've nearly got that down to the base of it, and it's just, you can tell I use that every day. It's really, really good. I was 2 years into this business management, and it was whether you take a final year and get it awarded as some kind of qualification. Maybe, I don't know, it was a bit further than whatever I ended up getting, because it got to the point where I was starting to earn money, I was been offered gifting for a little while from brands, and it was a whole new world to me. It was a whole new world of this actually happens. You get things for free and you can wear them, and just baffled me. At that point, I think my dad had been like, how are you buying things? Because you don't work enough alongside doing business management to like buy all these clothes. And that's when I was like, I get like £40 for this post, or £20 for this. I can't remember how much it was, but I do remember being paid £40 for something once. So that must have been my rate at some point. And he was a bit like, what? What do you mean? What is this job? Like, is this a job? Is it real? Is it legit? Like, sounds dodgy. And I was like, no, this is like how it is. And he was like, right. And I was like, I think I'm going to just do this and not do the degree anymore. Obviously, he had no idea what it was. So for him, it was just a massive risk. He looked at it all in the end and was like, if you want to do that, then it's a risk, but then do that. Which I was surprised at, because my dad is very like academic focused and I am not. But I think he probably knew that. So, this is the Rare Beauty Light and Liquid Luminizer. Like this. Only a tiny bit though, because it's very, very brightening. And very, very chrome-like. So he's very academic and I'm not. So he let me take the risk. He would have let me anyway, but I needed a bit of a push to do it, because it scared me as well. I had no idea where it was going. I had no idea where the influencer industry was going. And it was such a new job that there was no security in it. There was nothing. It was just a massive risk that I was taking in my life, of whether to not finish this whole qualification and take a risk in something that is completely unknown. Look at my little ears poking out. So I took the leap and I decided, okay, that's what I'm doing full time. And I really put in the work then. That was constant. It was starting to evolve then. So it was moving from taking photos inside to taking pictures outside. I actually built at that point, my sister, I think, had probably had enough of me sneaking around her room when she realised that's clearly what I was doing when all my pictures were in her room. And so my parents let me convert our spare bedroom into like a little studio kind of thing. Now it had a really it wasn't a gross carpet, but the carpet didn't fit my aesthetic. So I went to B&Q and I bought wooden boards, like big, massive, they weren't floorboards, but they were like, I don't know, what you'd probably use to like shut off a building when it's being built. You know what I mean? Put them on sellotape them together, put them on the floor, measured them out to fit the space I needed a bit. And then I got like this vinyl flooring that looked like laminate, like white laminate. I cut that to size and placed it over the wooden thing. So the floor was actually never stuck down. It was on carpet. Put a rail, put a little table, put a desk, put a chair. It was all like pink things, like just very, at that time, that was kind of my aesthetic of things. Sorry, I didn't say that what that was. That was the Vive Sunset Blush Balm. This is my second or third bottle of this. I really, really like this. It's really good. And then I go in with, look how all my stuff's got so many little bits on. The Refi Cream Blush in Papaya. I really like this, as you can tell. So then I started doing all that. I started doing YouTube a little bit. Instagram, I don't think, it might have at this point, but it didn't used to have stories or reels or anything like that. It didn't even used to have carousel posts for ages. It was just one post at a time. So actually, you would be able to get quite a lot of content done, like for the week and stuff, with just one picture. But I remember it used to take me so long to get one picture. So long. I was so self-critical of what I wanted it to look like, how I wanted to look, which is completely so different from how I am now. I just shoot and go like now. I feel like I've got so much better, and I just kind of probably just accepted the way I look more, which I don't hate the way I look at all. I'm quite comfortable with how I look, but at the time when I was younger, I probably just had not that much confidence with it. And it was all a new thing, and it kind of just then took off from there. Now, I think I hit it at the right time. I genuinely just think, as much as I did put in the work with it, I also think timing-wise, I struck it lucky there with the timing, because it was still such a new thing, and I started doing it pretty soon on, since Instagram became a thing. That is not the brush. I can't do two things at once. Bit of the Refi blush I do under my eyes, and then over as well. And then it just went from there, and it was my parents that used to shoot all my photos outside. We used to go to this one specific location every time, and I remember sitting in the car waiting for it to stop raining so we could shoot. And I then started to have brand deals come in more, where it was more consistent, and it was constant for a little while, and it was tough to navigate a new industry that just was completely beginning and evolving, and you've got to kind of put in the guesswork. But Instagram was a lot more favourable then to creators than I think it probably is now. The amount of content you have to create now, I think it depends how you find your rhythm with it. But I still haven't found my rhythm with it, and I'm still chopping and changing all the time with how I think I'm meant to do it. And this isn't me telling this story because I think I've got it all figured out, because I definitely don't. But I have definitely learned things along the way of it. And it definitely takes perseverance of, when you don't feel like it's going anywhere, you just kind of have to keep going. And I know everyone says that, and it's so hard to do. I'm just putting a little bit of the concealer here on my eyebrow where it's been microbladed, because ideally I need to get that lasered off, but I don't know when I'm going to bother to do that. So at the moment, it's just conceal that microblading, which has been on for, honestly, I want to say 7-8 years, which is crazy for how long microblading I think is meant to last, which is good, but I don't actually want that bit anymore on the end. Then I'm going to go in with the glossier brow flick. I quite like this, just to kind of give the illusion that the eyebrows grow that way and not downwards like the microblading. I'm going to do the Bobbi Brown Longwear Cream Shadow Stick in Cinnamon. Really like this. Had it for ages, so it lasts ages. Just in, is that called the waterline? I don't know, I think it is. And then I'll just put a bit there, and then I'll blend that in a minute. And it goes well with the blush under the eye when it all blends in. Anyway, then it started to get into, like, contracting would come around with work and campaigns, and massive long, could be 20-30 page contracts, could be 3-page contracts, but they could be really long. And I just remember thinking, oh, this is took like a very serious turn, like this is actually my job now, and I don't even know how to do these things. I just felt very out of my depth. So my dad had a bit of knowledge about it, but I think he got some legal advice on some contracts that I had, and we went through them. And after a while, after I'd say a couple of years, I started to know what to look out for in these contracts, where legally I needed to know, you know, a lot of contracts you get in this industry have a lot in there that just, you know, they can own the rights to your image for a really long time and you can't really give that away. So it was looking out for things like that, which I really had to get used to and became quite daunting, to be fair. I now know how to do that. Like I can skim them and ask for changes, and I don't like the reading of the contracts, I can't lie. It's so long. It's not my forte. But I can do it. Sometimes it's so worded strangely that I have to have it checked just to put my mind at ease, because I'm so scared of signing into something that I then can't get out of. What have I just put on? I've not told you anything. I don't actually think this makeup's gone well because I've been so distracted trying to do two things at once. These eyelashes, I think they're Eyelure Brown Black Fibres, that's meant to say. They say they're number 1. They have glue on. That is kind of grim. I obviously haven't took the glue off from last time I wore them. I reuse my lashes all the time. And I actually, if I do my makeup, I generally will wear lashes most days. I usually would cut these lashes. You can't see what I'm doing. I usually would cut these lashes in half and just put the end on. But I quite like these ones. Oh, did I put mascara on? Who knows? Let that balance on there for a bit until it gets a bit more like tacky, and then I'll stick it properly. Okay, and lastly, I'm going in with the Roddy Lip Sculpting Blush. I also got that Wonder Skin lip tint that everyone is using on TikTok. And I use it on no makeup days. And it's great. I think it's great. You know, the one that like goes on like dark blue. And then I see people do ones where they peel it off, but I don't have that one. I have the one where you just wipe it off. And it's really good. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a long time of doing all that and creating content. This is the Roddy lip gloss. It's the clear one. So yeah, that is how I kind of started out and began. And I'm still winging it these 10, 12 years later. And I still don't really always know what I'm doing. But it definitely has got a little bit more routine with it, and I'm very much more aware of how the industry works, maybe. Although it's still always evolving. So it's still a constant movement of it. And then there's new platforms now. There's TikTok, there's YouTube, there's whatever else there is. And this is the Pat McGrath. My sister says she watched my last vlog and that I jumped to things too quickly and I don't say anything. So I just did that. This is the Pat McGrath Labs Glass 001 Setting Spray. I said this before, this is great. Just as a final layer. And that's my makeup. I need to go do my hair as well. I might do a video on how I style my hair I keep doing the same style, and I feel like it's the one I get asked most about, is where I do it and it's all gelled down and then a curl here. I'm not actually doing that style today, but let me know if you want me to film that as a tutorial. It's so simple and easy. It just requires a lot of gel. So yeah, that's how I got into content creation. I'm sorry if that actually wasn't that much of an insight, but I'm trying to remember how I even got into it. Realised it's actually so long ago, I don't know how much I can remember.